Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Magic News with Magic Ridge. I'm your host, Ridge. Nice to meet you. And today is May 26th, and we have been bombarded with spoilers. We got almost 50 spoilers to go over today. So we are mid-spoiler season, Modern Horizons 2. And today makes 107 spoilers out of 303. So we're about 1/3 through the spoilers. I only glanced at what's going on today. I'm not super hyped. I'm like Time Spiral Remastered hype right now. But I believe Modern Horizons should be more hype and better than that set. But we're about the same power level, I feel, as that. I mean, it's just my opinion, you know. Opinions are like, you know, everybody's got one. So, first spoiler up is subtly. Subtly? Something like that. Subtly. 2 mana of any color and island. 4 CC. Creature type elemental incarnation. 3/3 with flash and flying. When subtly enters the battlefield, choose up to one target creature spell or planeswalker spell. Its owner puts it on the top or bottom of their library. Evoke, exile a blue card from your hand. That's not too bad, actually. To put a creature or planeswalker spell on the bottom of your owner's library. The Evoke sucks, I'm not going to lie. It's going to cost you one of your cards, but it could be game winning. Who knows? Looks pretty good. Something coming. It looks like some sort of dragon type thing coming out of a wave or something. Pretty cool artwork. Nice. Not too bad. Next up, we have So Shiny. For 2 mana of any color and an island, 3 CC enchantment aura, enchant creature. When So Shiny enters the battlefield, if you control a token, tap enchanted creature and then scry 2. Enchanted creature does not untap during its controller's untap step. Also, if you hear my stomach in the background, I apologize. Just had a monster. I'm pretty hyped. Some Subway. And my stomach just started yelling a minute ago. I don't know what's up. Anyway, next up we have Monoskelion. For 2 mana of any color, 2 CC. Creature type artifact creature construct. 1/1. Monoskelion enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. You can pay 1 mana of any color to remove a +1/+1 counter from Monoskelion. It deals 1 damage to any target. Pretty cool. I'm not sure if this is one of the combo ones, because I don't do a whole lot of combo. 3/4 combo I mess with a little bit, but not too many. Next up, we have Dre Keeper. 3 mana of any color and a swamp forest 5 CC. Creature type elf druid. Looks like a little more squirrel love is coming our way. When Dre Keeper enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens. You can pay 3 mana and a swamp 4 mana in total. Squirrels you control get +1/+0 and gain a menace until end of turn. The artwork on this thing is freaking rad, fellers, ladies, gentlemen, children. Very nice. And the elf is also a 2/2. Alright, freaking awesome. Next up, we have Underworld Hermit. 4 mana of any color and a swamp 6 CC. Creature type human peasant. It is a 3/3. Some more squirrel love, by the way. Just a little heads up. When Underworld Hermit enters the battlefield, create a number of 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens equal to your devotion to black. Very nice, very nice. Not too bad. Squirrel love. And now, the artwork on this makes me almost think that my Tibalt, with the little teaser, that my Tibalt turned into a legendary creature is maybe going to happen. Because that looks like Tibalt right there. I mean, I may be wrong. It could just be some sort of devil creature. But it could be Tibalt. Looks a lot like Tibalt. So I wonder if we're going to get Tibalt as a legendary creature in this set. They said it's only been a planeswalker or something like that. I don't remember the teaser. But this makes me think I was right again. Sometimes I get them right, people. Next up, we have Chance Encounter. 2 mana of any color in Mountain. 4 CC enchantment. Whenever you win a coin flip, put a luck counter on Chance Encounter. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Chance Encounter has 10 or more luck counters on it, you win the game. Pretty cool. It's going to be a definite add to coin flip decks. Yeah, that's kind of scary. That's definitely going to be a problem. Yeah. All right, next up we have Frog 1G for 1 mana of any color and a forest 2cc. Creature type, I'm guessing Frog Samurai. That's what it looks like. Is a 2/2 with Bushido 2. All right. Next up we have Terrain Shift. Terrain Shift costs 3 mana of any color and a forest 4cc. It is a sorcery, and you can search for a basic land card from your library, put it into the battlefield, I'm guessing onto the battlefield, then shuffle, and also has rebound. Next up, we have Verdant Command, 1 mana of any color, and a forest 2cc for the Verdant Command. It is an instant. You can choose 2. So target player creates 2 tapped 1/1 green squirrel token creatures. You can counter target loyal ability of a planeswalker. You can exile target card from a graveyard, or you can target player gains 3 life. Next up, we have Karl the Lion. For 2 mana of any color and a swamp forest 4cc, we have a legendary creature human warrior 3/5. When Karl the Lion enters the battlefield or a planeswalker you control dies, look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may reveal a planeswalker card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Planeswalker loyalty abilities you activate cost an additional +1 to activate. Alright. So a little planeswalker love there. Very cool, very cool. Let me just make sure something here doesn't happen. Okay. Next up, we have Arcbound Shirakai for 1 mana of any color and a mountain plains 3cc. Creature type artifact creature cat soldier 0/0 with first strike. When Arcbound Shirakai enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each other artifact creature you control, and it has modular 2. So we have another modular creature. This cat modular creature looks pretty badass with, looks like the Ajani weapon. I don't know what that would be called. It's like a double-headed axe. Very nice artwork. Digging it, very good. Okay, all right, next up is Azurin Orb, and I apologize, this is going to be a couple cuts in this video because there's so many spoilers, my other device just cannot handle the sheer mass of all the things here. So next up we have Azurin Orb for 0 mana cost, no mana cost. It is an artifact. You can sacrifice a land and gain 2 life. Alright. Once I get to a certain point, it'll be smooth sailing from there. So next up, we have Liquid Metal Torquette. It costs 2 mana of any color, 2cc. Artifact. You can tap it to add a colorless mana to your mana pool, or you can tap it, target non-land permanent becomes an artifact in addition to its other types until end of turn. Very nice. Next up, we have Cyan of Draco for 12 mana of any color, 12cc, artifact creature, and it is also a 4/4. It has Domain. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each basic land type among lands you control. It also has Flying. Each creature you control gains Vigilance if it's white, Hexproof if it's blue, Lifelink if it's black, First Strike if it's red, and Trample if it's green. Not too crazy, but not bad. The alternate art for it, badass. I'm not 100% why this is a mythic. It doesn't seem that outlandish, but the good thing is there's a lot of decks. There's that Bushido type ninja that, you want to look at the top card of your deck and have it be a high CC and fling that type stuff. You got the Grenzo or whatever that likes high CC stuff. Put it on the bottom of your library, however that works there. So this would be good for that. I also love the original Draco. I just happen to have one in my collection because I love Draco so much. So, just going on about it. So yeah, like the artwork on that guy is amazing. I'm not going to lie. Very, very nice. Next up, we have Abundant Harvest for 1 forest, 1 CC sorcery. Choose land or non-land. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a card of the chosen kind. Put that card in your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Alright. Next up, we have Sylvan Anthem for forest, 2 CC. Enchantment, green creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever a green creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may scry 1. Very cool, very cool. Next up, we have Scurry Oak for 2 mana of any color and a forest, 3 CC. It is a 1/2 creature type tree folk with evolve. So whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, if that creature has greater power or toughness than this creature, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. I don't know if evolve is something new. It seems pretty new. Whenever 1 or more +1/+1 counters are put on Scurry Oak, you may create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. So some more squirrel love. Very nice. And now I believe I can go and have smooth sailing from here on out. So we have, I believe this guy was also a teaser. I'm not 100% sure, but we have Torark. Torark, it's a creature. It costs 1 mana of any color and a black. 2 CC. It is a legendary creature, cleric human. It has kicker for 2 black mana. Protection from white. Whenever an opponent discards a card, put a +1/+1 counter on, I'm guessing, Torark. And whenever Torark enters the battlefield, if its kicker cost is paid, target opponent discards 2 cards at random. Pretty cool. Not gonna lie, I kind of like it. Kind of dig it. Not too bad at all. Not too shabby. Next up, we have Scourge Familiar. For 4 mana of any color and a black, it is 5 CC. You have a creature with flying, and you can discard a card to add black mana to your mana pool, and it is a 3/2. Next up, we have Necromancer's Familiar. It costs 3 mana of any color and a black, 4 CC. It is a creature with flying. It also has Hellbent, so Necromancer's Familiar has lifelink as long as you have no cards in hand. You can pay a black mana, discard a card, and it gains indestructible until end of turn, and then you have to, it looks like, tap Necromancer's Familiar. Bear with me. The translation on some of these are rough at best, but they're not terrible. Next up, we have Seal of Removal. For 1 blue mana, 1 CC. We have an enchantment. You can sacrifice Seal of Removal to return target creature to its owner's hand. Pretty standard. Next up, you have a Goblin Bombardment for 1 mana of any color and a mountain, 2 CC. We have another enchantment. You can sacrifice a creature. Goblin Bombardment deals 1 damage to any target. That seems pretty familiar. This is pretty cool. I believe this is a pretty high dollar card, and that's why I said it's kind of like the hype. It seems like the hype right now, and it's only 1/3 of the ways through. I play massive amounts of white, so I'm only really hyped about the new sword. The new angel's pretty rad, if it does what I think it does. And I'm pretty happy about some of the more expensive reprints, Force of Negation, Cabal Coffers, and now we have the first Sliver for Wooburg. 1 mana of every color, 5 CC, legendary creature, Silver. Silver. Sliver is a 7/7 with Cascade. Sliver spells you cast have Cascade. I may be mistaken, but last I checked, this was like 120 or something like that. I could be wrong. Perhaps I was thinking about Sliver Legion that was reprinted before it got the price drop. Next up, we have Mishra's Factory. It is a land. You can tap this land to add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. You can tap 1 mana of any color or colorless. Mishra's Factory becomes a 2/2 assembly worker artifact creature until end of turn. It's still a land. You can tap it to target assembly worker creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Pretty nifty. Next up, we have Suspend for 1 blue mana, 1 CC, instant speed, exile target creature, and place 2 time counters on it. If it doesn't have Suspend, it gains Suspend. So basically gives something Suspend 2. Okay. Instead of, kind of like a counter spell turned into Suspend, I guess. Next up, we have Mystic Radication. For 2 mana of any color and an island, 3 CC enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, scry 1. Whenever you discard a card, each opponent mills 2 cards. Okay. Next up, we have Sweep the Skies for X mana of any color and blue, unknown CC, sorcery speed, Converge, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying for each color of mana spent to cast this spell. Artwork is amazing. I like it a lot. Next up, we have a split card, I believe they're calling them nowadays. We have Road and Ruin. The Road side costs 2 mana of any color and a forest, 3 CC, instant speed. Search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. And then we have the Ruin side for 1 mana of any color and Mountain, 3 CC, sorcery speed. Aftermath. Cast this spell only from your graveyard, then exile it. Ruin deals damage to target creature equal to the number of lands you control. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that green is not in the Dakin color scheme, it'd be a good Dakin card. But anyway, next up we have a new set of artifact lands, actually. So these are nice. I can't believe I'm pretty much the most hyped on a set of 10 lands. But we have Dark Moss Bridge. It is an artifact land, so it counts as an artifact, so that's good for Metalcraft and other artifact shenanigans. It does enter tapped, a bummer, but it's indestructible. It has indestructible, and it adds black and green mana. So yeah, freaking hype. So next up we have Silver Bluff Bridge, artifact land, enters the battlefield tapped, indestructible, adds blue and red mana to your mana pool. After that we have Dross Forge Bridge, artifact land, enters tapped, indestructible, adds black and red mana to your mana pool. Next up we have Razor Fortide Bridge, artifact land, enters the battlefield tapped, is indestructible, adds white and blue mana to your mana pool. Goldmire Bridge, artifact land, enters tapped, indestructible, adds white and black mana to your mana pool. Next up we have Mist Vault Bridge, enters tapped, is an artifact land, and is indestructible, adds blue and black mana to your mana pool. Next up we have Thorn Glint Bridge, artifact land, enters tapped, adds white and green mana to your mana pool, and is also indestructible. Next up, we have Slag Woods Bridge. Artifact lands, enters the battlefield tapped, indestructible, adds red and green mana to your mana pool. Next up, we have Tanglepool Bridge. Artifact land, enters tapped, indestructible, adds green and blue mana to your mana pool. Next up, we have Rustvale Bridge. Artifact land, enters the battlefield tapped, indestructible, adds red and white mana to your mana pool. Alright, thank God we are done with those. Next up, we have Out of Time. I wish. 1 mana of any color and white, 3 CC enchantment. This one seemed kind of interesting when I seen it at a glance. So, when Out of Time enters the battlefield, untap all creatures, then phase them out until Out of Time leaves the battlefield. Put a time counter on Out of Time for each creature phased out this way. And this enchantment also has vanishing. Yeah. So, looks like you can... I mean, I guess it's only... Wait, let's see. So, only phases out your creatures and not yourself, like Teferi's protection or whatever. So, it only phases out creatures. I mean, yeah. But the more creatures you have, the longer you're phased out for. So, if you're just trying to miss a board wipe, and you have 2 creatures, it's like you're phased out for... I don't know. I don't know what to think about this. The artwork's pretty rad. We're just going to move on to this crazy abomination. So we have Azurin Nomad Ikadaz Tinkunkuladar Scar. Yeah. Whatever that means. It is a creature that apparently has no casting cost. Is a legendary creature, human wizard. As long as you've discarded a card this turn, you may pay black or red mana to cast a spell. So if you discarded a card, you could pay 1 mana to cast a spell. When whatever the hell this card's name is enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a card named the Underworld Cookbook. Reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle. You can sacrifice 2 foods. Target creature deals 6 damage to itself. And this creature is a 6/6. So, yeah. I mean, different for sure. So, yeah. I mean, so now we've got all those discard draw cards. So now you have a reason to play them. I'm sure there was reasons before, but yeah. I'm not too hyped on that one either. Anyway, next up, the Underworld Cookbook. 1 mana of any color, 1 CC artifact. You can tap it to discard a card to create a food token. Food is an artifact you can pay 2 mana and tap it to sacrifice this artifact and gain 3 life. You can pay 4 mana and tap the cookbook, sacrifice the Underworld Cookbook, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Definitely different for sure. Next up, we have Discerning Taste for 2 mana of any color and a swamp. 3 CC sorcery speed. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. You gain life equal to the greatest power among creature cards put into your graveyard this way. Okay. Alright. Next up, we have another very interesting card. So we have a Glimpse of Tomorrow. Once again, has no casting costs at first glance. It is a sorcery with Suspend 3 for 2 red mana, so 2 mana. Shuffle all permanents you own into your library, then reveal that many cards from the top of your library. Put all non-aura permanent cards revealed this way onto the battlefield. Then do the same for aura cards, then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I feel like this is going to be bonkers. I feel, maybe, you know what I mean? So, what does it do? So, basically, you take all your permanents. So, say you have 10 permanents. You shuffle them back into your library. Then you reveal cards then you reveal 10 cards or so. You reveal cards. Yeah. So, then you reveal that many cards from the top of your library until, I'm assuming you have 10, until you have 10 permanents once again. And then you do the same for aura cards. And then put the rest on the bottom and on the library. Okay, so we're just going to read it again for you guys, because I get a little mixed up in my head. I know it's a good card for niche reasons, but yeah. So, once again, shuffle all permanents you own into your library. Then reveal that many cards from the top of your library. Put all non-aura permanent cards revealed this way onto the battlefield. Then do the same for aura cards. Okay, so it's in the same go. So you what do you call that? So you do all the permanents first, auras next. It's like the order of the stack type deal for this guy. Okay. Next up, we have Bone Shards for 1 black mana, 1 CC, sorcery speed. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature or discard a card to destroy target creature or planeswalker. That's pretty standard card. I think that's been around for a while. Next up, we have Rift Sower for 2 mana of any color in a forest, 3 CC, creature type elf druid, 1/3. You can tap it to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. It also has Suspend 2 for 1 forest. Okay? Pretty sure we're all pretty familiar with Suspend. I'm not going to go over that since there's like 50 spoilers today. Next up, we have Arcbound Meowser. For 1 white mana, 1 CC, artifact creature cat. It is a 0/0 with lifelink and modular 1. So we have another modular creature in white that is a cat. Next up, another very awesome reprint. So we have Imperial Recruiter for 2 mana of any color and a mountain, 3 CC, creature type human advisor, 1/1. When Imperial Recruiter enters the battlefield, search your library for a creature card with power 2 or less, reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle. This makes me wonder, are we going to get Imperial Seal? Will Imperial Seal see a reprint? The way they've been reprinting things this year, I think it's about a 50-50 bet that they might. With Imperial Recruiter, I mean, same set, I think. So, very, very possible. If not, they did already do the Suspend tutor, which I also liked. So, yeah, we might get that Imperial Seal. Who knows? Next up, we have Galvanic Relay for 2 mana of any color and a mountain, 3 CC, sorcery speed. Exile the top card of your library during your next turn. You may play that card, and this card has Storm. Very nice. Next up, we have Step Through for 3 mana of any color and Island, 5 CC, sorcery speed. Return 2 target creatures to their owner's hand. And we have something called Wizard Cycling for 2 generic mana. You can pay 2 mana, generic, discard this card, search your library for a wizard card. Reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle. Doors open both ways. Alrighty. I love the artwork on this one. Next up, we have Tormod's Crypt Keeper for 3 mana of any color, 3 CC, artifact creature golem. It is a 3/2 with vigilance. The artwork is outstanding. Who is this? Greg Staples. Yeah, should have figured. You could tap it to sacrifice Tormod's Crypt Keeper, exile all cards from target player's graveyard. So we have like a Tormod's Crypt Keeper. Next up, we have Disapprove for 1 mana of any color and a island, 2 CC. Looks like an enchantment with flash. When Disapprove enters the battlefield, draw a card. Creatures lose all abilities. At the beginning of the next end step, sacrifice Disapprove. Looks like it's going to be another combo-y type card. Next up, we have Seal of Cleansing for 1 mana of any color and a plains, 2 CC, enchantment. Sacrifice Seal of Cleansing, destroy target artifact or enchantment. This is also pretty standard. We've seen some stuff like this before. Next up, we have Curion Ranger for 1 forest. It is an elf ranger creature. Return a forest you control to its owner's hand. Untap target creature. Activate only once each turn. It is a 1/1. Next up, we have Gaia's Will. It has no obvious casting cost. Has Suspend 4 for 1 forest. Until end of turn, you may play lands and cast spells from your graveyard. If a card would be put into your graveyard from anywhere this turn, exile that card instead. Pretty cool. Artwork's pretty rad. I'm liking these Suspend type cards. Looks like, I think that's, it's coming. Okay, so that's part of the teaser. So those are coming from the, whatever, was it, Time Spiral block or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Next up, we have Junk Winder for 5 mana of any color and island. 7 CC, creature type serpent, 5/6. It has affinity for tokens, so this spell costs 1 less to cast for each token you control. Whenever a token enters the battlefield under your control, tap target non-land permanent and opponent controls. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Pretty cool. Next up, we have Soul Snare. I may be trying this out. For 1 white mana, 1 CC enchantment, you can pay 1 white mana to sacrifice Soul Snare. Exile target creature that's attacking you or a planeswalker you control. I mean, they get to, unfortunately, they see it coming, but this is up there. I mean, it's not bad for white removal, so might have to run it. Next up, we have what is this name? General Furious Rockerick. It costs 1 mana of any color and a mountain plains 3cc legendary creature. Looks like maybe human soldier. I don't read Spanish. It is a 3/1 with hexproof from monocolored. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, create a 4/4 red and white golem token. Pretty cool. And last but not least, we have Rente Los Phantasmal. It has the mana cost of 2 mana of any color and an island, 3cc. Creature type, I don't know. It is a 2/2 with flying. You could pay 2 mana of any color and an island, so 3 mana in total. Other target creature gains flying until end of turn. And it says channel, so that might be a new ability. I don't know if it's an old ability. So you can pay X mana of any color and a blue mana. Discard. I think you discard this card. So discard Rente Los Phantasmal. And X target creatures gain flying until end of turn. So we've been throwing a lot of stuff today. 50 spoilers. That's like covers the last 4 days of spoilers, or 4 spoilers. So like I said, so last I checked, we're at 107 spoilers of 303 from the set. So we're a little bit over 1/3 through. So far, it's looking really good. We're getting reprints we need, very high dollar reprints, so that's good. I'm right at the level of Time Spiral Remastered. Like, I'm pretty hyped. I was pretty hyped for that set. Probably just less than a half a dozen, 6 cards or so that are amazing reprints and stuff like that. I'm going to be even more hyped than that, and the set should be probably where it's at. I did trade in for a set box. I believe it was $260 or something like that. It's like $250 or $260, somewhere around there, when I pre-ordered the set box. I really wanted to get the collector's box, but need to make sure I have prize support for my giveaway, so I went with the set box. And yeah, I mean, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you guys for coming out. If you have anything that you want to add or whatever about the spoilers, anything you guys are predicting, what do you think's coming next? Are we going to get that Imperial Seal? Is the Planeswalker that's never been printed as a legendary, is it going to be the guy that I talked about earlier? You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll find out. Until tomorrow.